Hi, welcome to another episode of Made to Print. In this video, we're going to go through the design process for the wheels that I made for the lift kit. In another video I showed the kind of finished product of the baby cart lift kit. So in this one, we're going to walk through Fusion360 and just the step-by-step design process for making the 3D models for those wheels. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is the finished product. That's the wheel I 3D printed on the cart. And you can see it's kind of got some detail there on the outside. I'll cover how I made this in the next part. So here we are in Fusion360. I started with some simple dimensions. Since I'm making a wheel, they're all circles. And in this case, I needed some specific measurements. So I wanted to make sure that a wheel, it was 130 millimeters to give me enough height to roll over the carpet, and then have some interior dimensions here that are important too. So the wheel on the cart itself is 105 millimeters ish, and then I wanted a little opening there, so I just kind of created that opening there of like 52 millimeters. So I thought it looked okay, you know, ratio wise. So from there I took the sketch and extruded the full solid. So this represents the whole wheel, but obviously I don't want to print that and it's not going to fit. So I needed to cut a hole for the wheel on the cart to fit inside. So that was what that interior circle was. So I did another extrusion that created a cut. So I basically cut in up into the sphere or the circle that I just extruded. And that created that hole for the wheel to sit in. So we kind of like a hubcap and a wheel kind of situation going on here. So then I had to rounded the corners so they're not so sharp, so it starts to look like a wheel or tire, and use the fillet tool for that. And then I kind of rounded out some of the interior circles just so that they're nice and friendly. And now I also added some decoration really at this point. It's so the shapes you see here were a sketch that then I used the multiply tool to rotate around that center point. I just kind of did something at random and chose 8. And you can make it any number. So it's kind of a neat feature of Fusion360 to kind of create these patterns that repeat. It's kind of fun. I mean, they are quite functional for things, but sometimes it's nice to just use them for decoration. So from here I took those sketches and I extruded them kind of like, again, as a cutting tool down from the top plane. So you can actually choose the top plane surface and then extrude down into it with Fusion360. So that's what I did here to kind of create that cutaway. And then I put a little fillet on those borders to round them out. So you have this nice little kind of 2-level effect. Now, so this is an interesting thing that I did where the wheel, if I just printed it, it would have been fine, but it might have, you know, kind of flopped around a little bit. And also I didn't want to glue it onto the cart. I wanted to be able to remove them, you know, in case they broke or I don't know, whatever, they didn't work. I didn't want to like make it a permanent attachment. So I created these little kind of like ribs or spines that are on the inside that would almost act like a press fit to keep, like a friction fit to keep the wheel covers from sliding off the wheels. So I created a whole bunch of little circles, again using that multiply tool, that act as these little ribs that when they slide over the wheel on the cart, it kind of is like, it compresses the wheel a little bit because the wheel on the cart is kind of like a soft plastic. And it does a pretty good job of keeping the wheel in place, keeping this outer wheel in place over the inner wheel. So then one other thing I did, which I'll show here in a second, was I exported. So first I exported this model as the thing I was going to print, but I wanted to make sure it fit. So what I did was create this like mini version, and I exported just that little bit. as a separate STL file. So then I printed that first to make sure the critical dimensions. Did I get the ribs right? Are they the right size? Did I get the wheel right? Is that the right size? I wanted to make sure that fit. And then I printed the whole wheel all together. So there you have it. I think with that test fit, that test object, it's often helpful to do that. So if you have some kind of critical dimension in your part, like something where it marries up with something in the real world from the digital world, it's helpful to print a very small version of it, or one dimension that you want to make sure you get right. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching.